The materials that you're going to need for this project are going to be your yarn. I'm using a medium size 4 acrylic yarn, a 4mm hook, and a pair of scissors. To begin, you are going to take your yarn and make a slip knot. Insert your hook into the slip knot, and then you're going to make a chain that goes around your entire body under your breast. So for me, I am going to make a chain of 135. Make sure you have an odd number of chains. And now from here we are going to just make sure our chain isn't twisted, and we are going to slip stitch into the first chain just like this. So we now have a circle. Now chain 2 and put a half double crochet into each chain all the way around the circle. I will show you what to do once we get to here. Slip stitch into your first stitch, chain 2, and now we are going to turn our work and put a half double crochet into this loop right here, this back loop. And we are going to continue to put half double crochet stitches into the back loop only. So we get this right here. We are going to continue to do this until we have a total of 10 rows. So we're going to half double crochet in the back loop only around this row, slip stitch into the first stitch, chain 2, turn our work, and then half double crochet back, and so on and so forth. Now that we have our 10 rows, we are going to take our scissors and cut and tie off our yarn. Now if you have a stitch marker, use a stitch marker. If not, you can just cut a piece of your yarn off. Now what we're going to do is we are going to find the middle stitch. What I'm going to do is just fold my work. Just do this, and there's my middle stitch. And I am just going to mark it. And then I'm going to put this on, and this is going to be right in the middle of my breast, right in the middle of my chest, between my two breasts. And then I'm going to mark where my armpit is, and then I will do the same thing on the other side. Here are my 3 stitch markers. Here's one, here's the middle one, and here's the other one. So now what we are going to do is make sure there's an even number between the stitches. You're not going to count this middle one, but you're going to count the one on the side. So I have 38 stitches up to here, and I have 38 stitches over here as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work from the middle. I'm going to take my yarn, make a slip knot, insert it into the back loop from the stitch that is the middle stitch, and pull my slip knot through. Then I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to put a half double crochet in the back loop only into each stitch, all the way over to this stitch marker. Now chain 1, and you are going to half double crochet the first 2 stitches together. Now you're going to half double crochet in the back loop only all the way across your row until you get to the last 2 stitches. Half double crochet the last 2 stitches together, just like that. Chain 1, turn your work, half double crochet the first 2 stitches together, continue this until you have got just 1 stitch left. Here's what it should look like. You have 1 stitch left. Now we are going to make a chain that goes up and around your shoulder, and then it's able to reach the back of your project. I did a chain of 55, and now you're going to cut your yarn, but you're going to leave a tail because that's what you're going to use to sew it on to the back of your project later. So just cut and tie off your yarn. And then you're going to do the same thing you did for this cup over here to this cup. Now that you have finished both cups, you are going to take your yarn and make a slip knot. Insert your hook into the back loop of the back. Put your slip knot onto your hook, chain 2. Then you are going to half double crochet into the back loops only until you get to the stitch before your first cup. So this stitch you're going to do a half double crochet decrease stitch. So yarn over, insert into the back loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, insert your hook into the first row of your cup, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all of your loops, and it should look like that. And now put a half double crochet into each row of your cup until you get to the strap. The row before the chains, you are going to do a half double crochet stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook into the row, yarn over, and then insert your hook into the chain. And then yarn over and pull through all of the loops. Then you're just going to continue to half double crochet down your chain until you get to the end of your chain. At the end of the chain, you are going to chain 1, slip stitch into that row, and then slip stitch into the chain that you just went into for that last stitch, and then chain 1. Then you are going to make sure that your tail is out of the way. Then half double crochet back down your chain. When you get to the end of your chain, you are going to do a decrease stitch in the last chain in the first row, and then you're going to half double crochet all the way down your cup, and I will show you what to do once you get to your last row and this stitch and the beginning of your next cup. Here we are half double crocheting 3 stitches together, so we're going to yarn over, insert into our last row of the first cup, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, insert into the middle back loop stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and then insert your hook into the first row of your second cup, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over and pull through all of the loops on your hook. Then you're just going to continue to do what you did on this side to this side. When you've come back to the beginning, you are going to slip stitch into your first stitch, and then you're going to cut and tie off your yarn. Now we are going to put the sleeves, attach the sleeves. And to do that, you can either just sew it on or you can slip stitch it on. What you're going to do is reverse your project so that it's inside out. And then you're going to figure out where your sleeves need to be attached at. Make sure that they are both the same amount of spaces away from the middle back stitch. So I have my strap 18 stitches from the middle. Now I'm going to take my strap, insert my hook into this stitch, and then pull a loop of yarn out, just like that. So now I have a loop on my hook, and I'm going to just go into my project, yarn over, and make a slip stitch, insert into the strap, then into the next stitch, and make another slip stitch there, to the next slip stitch there, next slip stitch, and the very last, and slip stitch. And then you can either weave this end in, I'm going to cut it shorter and weave it in, or you can go over and you can sew this as well as having the slip stitch. Then you're going to do the same thing to the other strap. Now we are going to flip our work right side out, and we are going to be working in the back starting. So make a slip knot with your yarn, insert your hook into your project, slide on your slip knot and pull it through, and then make a chain of 11. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now you're going to skip this first chain, go into the next chain, and make a single crochet, and then single crochet all the way down your chain. You should have 10 single crochet stitches. Now once we've reached the end of our row, we are going to slip stitch into the next chain space, and that's going to end our row. And then we are going to do another slip stitch, and that's going to be like our chain 1. Then we're going to turn our work. We're going to skip the chain stitches and insert our hook into the back loop and single crochet. You're going to single crochet down your row, chain 1, turn your work, insert your hook into the back loop, and put a single crochet and single crochet back down. You are going to repeat this, so single crochet back down, back loop only, slip stitch into the next stitch, and then slip stitch in the next, turn your work, single crochet back up, back loop only. Repeat this all the way around your project till you get back to the beginning. Here I am back at the beginning. This is what it should look like. And now we are going to chain 1. We should have 1 stitch left. So now make sure you are on the back of your project, so inside out. So after your chain 1, you are going to insert into the first chain stitch, and then insert into the other side and make a slip stitch. Again, insert into the chain stitch and then the side that you're on. Repeat this all the way until you get to the bottom. Once you have reached the end, slip stitch into the very last stitch, and then you're just going to cut and tie off your yarn. And here's what it will look like. Then the very last thing that you are going to have to do is weave in your ends. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.